Now, I'm still not entirely sure why this smartphone actually even exists, but earlier this year Samsung launched a light version of last year's Galaxy S10 flagship phone, even though we kind of already had that in the Galaxy S10e. And at 569 quid SIM-free or from £38 a month on contract from the likes of Vodafone, the Samsung Galaxy S10 Lite certainly ain't cheap either, and it's up against some really stiff competition from the likes of Xiaomi and OnePlus, who have launched their fresh 2020 flagship smartphones for around the same sort of price. But all the same, I've had my SIM cards squirreled away inside the Samsung Galaxy S10 Lite all week, been testing it as my full-time handset to see if it's worth considering for anyone who fancies a bit of Samsung action but doesn't have the cash to splash on those fresh S20 flagships. So here's my full S10 Lite review, and for more of the latest greatest tech, please do subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Cheers! Now, this may be an S10 phone in name, but the Galaxy S10 Lite actually owes more of a debt to the recent Galaxy A series phones as far as the design goes. You still get a shiny glass arse which flashes rainbow colours whenever it catches the light, or at least this pearly white model does. I'm not sure about the black or blue variants. But gone is the weird horizontal camera array, replaced instead with a now typically chunky box shoved away in the corner. While up front, that pinhole selfie lens has now shifted front and centre, making it more obvious than it was on the original S10. Now, a few rival smartphones around this price point like the OnePlus 8 will offer you full dedicated water resistance, but unfortunately you don't even get an IP splash resistance rating here on the S10 Lite, so definitely don't go getting it moist. On the plus side, despite being a bit scared of water, the S10 Lite is actually a proper tough nut. I've been banging it about this past week, and so far not a single solitary scratch or chip or anything on that front or back end. Like other Samsung blowers, you get the latest Android here, topped off with Sami's own One UI launcher version 2.1. It's the same bright and colourful skin with full customization and a buttload of bonus features, from a very useful one-handed mode to the Bixby routines, which can automate all kinds of stuff on your Galaxy S10 Lite. And I've plunged face first into that One UI launcher in my full tips and tricks guide video, so go check that out for a look at some of the best features and some of the little quirks. Hopefully I've remembered to put a link to it up here somewhere. If not, whoops. As usual, there is a lot of doubling up of apps, which is pretty irritating. You certainly do not need two web browsers, and I'm still not sure why Samsung has its own app store. But if you do want to download shed loads of apps, be it from Samsung's App Store or the Google Play Store, then no worries at all. You've got 128 gigs of storage on there internally, and you can expand that using a micro SD memory card in the second SIM slot up to a further terabyte. Sorted. I have unfortunately noticed a few little quirks in my time with the S10 Lite, such as the ropey face unlock, which is crazy slow and more often than not simply does not work, even when the lighting is just fine. Thankfully, that fingerprint sensor is a lot more reliable. And I found I had a few little networking issues here on the Galaxy S10 Lite as well. So for instance, just getting lights to turn on or off using Google Home, sometimes that just did not work at all. Occasionally I'd try and send an email and it would fail multiple times in succession until eventually it just magically worked. A couple of times Deezer would just crash on me again, just mid-song. It's not the kind of stuff you'd expect from a smartphone that's been around for a couple of months. It's fully up to date, and it's not exactly a budget smartphone either. And yeah, these problems were fairly sporadic, but they're still a massive pain in the sphincter, and that Google Home issue, it crops up at least every couple of days, so yeah, not great. Still, I've got few complaints with that 6.7-inch Super AMOLED Plus display. Unlike the standard S10 and Samsung's other flagships, this doesn't curve around the edges to give a gorgeous, glorious full view finish, but the visuals are still simply stunning. That Full HD Plus resolution means plenty of fine detail, even though the screen is bloody huge, while the HDR10 Plus compatibility gives you impressive contrast and perfectly natural colour output with supported movies and shows on streaming services such as Netflix. And you've got plenty of customization options tucked away here in the display settings as well, but sadly no option for a 90Hz refresh rate, which is something that I've found on pretty much every other smartphone around this price point, and even some around half the price. So you don't get that silky smooth experience when you're flipping around on the UI, which is a real damn shame. But boy is that display bright though. Seriously, when I chucked it up to those maximum settings, I felt my face begin to melt like those Nazi dudes in Raiders. So definitely no worries on a bright sunshiny day. However, another thing that was a big miss when I was enjoying a bit of media was a lack of stereo speaker setup. Again, something that you find on smartphones like half the price of this thing. It's definitely a big miss for your movies, and particularly when you're gaming as well with the likes of PubG, it's nice to have that stereo speaker feedback. And while I had no problems with the Bluetooth connectivity here on the Galaxy S10 Lite. Sadly, there is no headphone jack, so it's basically dongles all the way. Otherwise, you can use the Type-C earphones that are bundled in the box. Thank the baby Jesus, though, that you also don't get one of Samsung's own Exynos chipsets running the show here. Instead, it's last year's Snapdragon 855 platform from Qualcomm, backed by your choice of 6 or 8 gigs of RAM. And while yes, some similarly priced rivals like the Realme X50 Pro serve up the fresher Snapdragon 865 chipset with full 5G connectivity for future-proofing, the Snapdragon 855 still absolutely kicks arse, to be perfectly fair. Multitasking is proper smooth, as is gaming on PubG Mobile on HDR detail levels with the extreme frame rate option. Samsung offers a basic game booster tool, but you won't even need it as PubG runs without a stutter even when you bed in for a good few games. And that flat display is really well suited to the complex on-screen controls, although sadly you don't get the super nippy touch response rate of the likes of OnePlus 8 or the dedicated gaming handsets. And I'm more than happy with the battery performance here on the Samsung Galaxy S10 Lite as well. You got a 4500 mAh cell. I generally find I have around 10 to 20% battery life remaining at the end of a fairly busy day with plenty of intensive use. And when it is eventually drained, you can power back up in a jiffy thanks to the 45-watt fast wired charging. Although no, again, unlike some rivals like the OnePlus 8, you do not have any wireless charging support here. So let's flip this bad boy over, and on the back end of the Galaxy S10 Lite, Samsung has slapped a triple lens arrangement. Your primary shooter is a 48 megapixel effort with an f2.0 aperture, and this does a fine job for everyday pics. Those 4000 by 3000 pixel photos are packed with fine detail, so they look just as sharp when you file them over from the S10 Lite to your big telly screen. Colour capture is also wonderfully natural, so vibrant subjects look just as gorgeous as they do in the flesh. Or at least they do if you knock off that scene detect feature. Leave that turned on and you will get more vivid results at times, although it's a fairly subtle effect and I was personally happy either way. Contrast levels do occasionally struggle a bit when there's strong HDR, with spots of oversaturation sneaking into some snaps, but on the whole you do get a good balanced shot even with some bright background action. A 12 megapixel ultra wide angle lens offers the usual pulled back viewpoint, although your photos are of course less detailed when you look a little bit closer, and those colours are typically warmer too. And you also have a 5 megapixel macro lens slapped on there for close-up shots of wildlife and crap like that. Here's a series of macro photos I tried to take of a bee gathering pollen. I was literally about 5 centimeters away and buggered if I was getting any closer, so yeah, they didn't really turn out too great. Screw you, macro lens. You've got quite a few other camera modes to play around with here, of course, including the usual night modes. The S10 Lite definitely struggles in low light conditions, so this helps to brighten up your ambient pics, although it doesn't really do anything for the grain. Switch to video and you can capture up to 4K resolution footage at 30 or 60 frames per second, although you will have to keep it at 30 FPS if you want the freedom to swap between the main and the wide angle lenses as you're shooting. Try and avoid bright light and you get sharp natural results just like you do with your photos. And at that full HD level, Samsung has also thrown in its live focus video feature, which does an alright job of adding bokeh to your video, although hair is often really smoothed out. You even have that live focus option when shooting video with a selfie cam, and it works okay despite the slightly peculiar halo effect that you always seem to end up with. And speaking of that 32 megapixel front-facing camera, this can capture stunning results in respectable lighting. My selfie pics were just as detailed as any snaps taken with the back end, while the portrait mode delivers some impressively accurate bokeh action. As with the standard S10, you have a more wide-angle view if you want to capture more background, but this doesn't exactly make a huge amount of difference. So that's my full Samsung Galaxy S10 Lite after using this as my full-time smartphone for a week, and I gotta say, I don't know why you would get this over the likes of the OnePlus 8, which offers better specs. You've got the likes of the Snapdragon 865, you've got that 5G future-proof, and even if you're not bothered about it now, you might be in a couple of years' time. You got the 90Hz display, you got the telephoto camera lens, loads and loads of little upgrades compared with this bad boy. Well, that's just my personal thoughts. Maybe you've been using the S10 Lite yourself and you've had a better experience. It'd be great to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. Please do subscribe, ding that notifications bell, and have yourselves a lovely week, people. Cheers, everyone. Love you.